Hello and welcome to the Joy Corner. I'm Carol DeChaine, your intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters and Marconics multidimensional energy practitioner. Every week I bring you a mantra, or if you prefer, an I AM affirmation, to help you have a little chat with your subconscious mind to tell it, hey, I don't like what's happening down there. Let's shift and grow and change and be more of the person I want to be in this lifetime. Let's learn some of those lessons and let go of some of those fears and those beliefs that just don't work for you anymore. Today, the I am affirmation is I am confident to speak up and share my ideas and talents. This one's hard for shy people, I have to admit. It's a little long, but usually that's okay. Just don't make it 3 pages of an affirmation or a run on sentence that goes on 2 or 3. I've read before when people do run on sentences and the paragraph is this long. So you don't want that sort of thing. You want something shorter, something that will really get to the heart of the matter. I am confident to speak up and share my ideas and talent might scare the heck out of you. But sometimes just speaking up means with one other person. Other times it means speaking up maybe in a work situation because you have ideas and you're going, this is a great idea. I don't want to say it out loud. Maybe it's not. Share it. Just say, I have an idea. I don't know if it'll work or not. And then say it. Maybe it's the best idea they ever heard. Maybe it's something totally off the wall. They'll go, you got to be crazy. But sometimes those off the wall ideas are really what's needed because nobody else has thought of them, whether it's in advertising or just doing whatever it is that you're doing. I've seen some commercials on TV that are the oddest things I've ever seen. They stick with me because they're weird, and that's what advertising is supposed to do, is to stick with you. And so I unfortunately sometimes I don't remember the products. I just remember the commercial. So it's sort of the thing where if you don't speak up, you won't be able to be heard in general, but also not just share your ideas, but share your talents. Because maybe you can draw and somebody needs somebody to draw something, or you can sing and they're doing a talent show and you're going, I'll just be in the background. It's hard sometimes to step up and do things and say things, especially if you're shy. I'm great one on one, but you get me with a whole room full of people, and I'll just be one of the quietest people there. I'll find somebody else who's quiet in the corner and I'll talk to them so that there's at least 2 of us that are chatting. And sometimes we end up with 10 people talking around us. And then that's when I usually shut up and don't say anything anymore because there's too many people. So to be confident, to speak up, and to share your ideas and your talents is huge to some of us. It's something that you have to kind of adjust your subconscious mind, no matter what that belief is. I think mine was just that people would laugh at me because I wasn't good enough to be able to have those kind of ideas. But there are lots of different beliefs that will stop you from being able to speak up. Being humiliated in front of people or embarrassed is another thing that might be a belief that you don't like that. So you're afraid that's going to happen, so you don't do it. And a lot of times, this one is just fear. Let's tell our subconscious mind that it's a good thing, that it's okay to speak up. And you'll know when it feels right, when you can't help yourself and you have to speak up, because sometimes you just keep bugging you and it keeps pushing you to say something. That's when you need to be confident enough, especially. As always, let's say it 3 times together, making this our truth right at this moment. This is the truth. And if those limiting beliefs pop up and start talking to you, that little devil on your shoulder says, no, you shouldn't say anything. Somebody's going to shoot you down or they're going to say something. And then say, thank you very much. You just step aside for a second. Let me do this. And then you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. Because sometimes it's really good to hear that little devil on our shoulder because that's the subconscious going, oh, be careful, be careful. This is a belief that we have that maybe this will happen. Caution. If you're old enough to remember, Danger Will Robinson from the robot from Lost in Space back in the dark ages of TV, that sort of thing is what our subconscious is doing. It's trying to make us be careful, to caution us. And so thank you for that, but I don't believe that anymore. Or yes, I'm aware that's a possibility, but I'm going to do it anyway. That bravery thing. So here we go. Take a breath, say it with me, and then feel it your truth. Feel it going through your body, impacting every cell of your being. Here we go. I am confident to speak up and share my ideas and talent. And breathe a couple of times, feeling that tingle into your body, feeling that being your truth. And again, I am confident to speak up and share my ideas and talent. Feel it going through every cell of your being, every part of your being. It's your truth right this minute. You are confident enough. And the third time, I am confident to speak up and share my ideas and talent. Feel it going all the way through your mind, into your subconscious mind, that this is the truth. Every cell of your being is on board with this truth right this moment. And once you have those feelings, then you can step back and open your eyes, or you can say it a couple more times. Just know, as I always say, in one sitting, only say it 3 to 5 times, because you want to be able to suspend that disbelief, to make it your truth right now. It's your present moment truth. And if you say it too many times, it becomes rote. It becomes just, it's not really true. It loses its power. And you want to have that powerful feeling. And if you want to do it more than once a day, that's fine as well. So it's like I always say, in one sitting, meaning maybe you're in the car, maybe you're in the shower, so you're not really sitting down, but it's something where you might want to do it at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, or you can do it 3 times a day, do it at lunch, or whenever it works for you. Extra credit is to sit down and write it, like in a journal or something. Write down, I am confident to speak up and share my ideas and talent. And as you're writing it, you see it, you feel it because you're writing it out, and you say it at the same time, and you have more of your senses happening. So after you write it out, say it a couple more times, or write it a couple more times. And that's another way that's sort of like an extra jet fuel that you can do. That and feeling like it's happening right this minute. It is your truth. If you don't care for any of the affirmations I give you, if you want to adjust them, just make sure you always have a personal pronoun in there. It's about you, and it's not about anybody else, because you can't change anybody else's subconscious. You only can change your own. So you have to have I, my, or me in the phrasing if you shift it. Make sure it's present tense and it's powerful. And it needs to be personal enough to you so you feel it, you know it. It is what you need. Knowing that you are confident enough to speak up and share your ideas and talents is huge, because it can change your whole life when you speak up. You could end up dating people that you normally wouldn't date. You might keep a job you normally wouldn't keep. I had someone who said to me one time, I was in a theater and I was being paid for it. And he cast someone else in it without even telling me. And all of a sudden I was out of a job, and I looked at him the last few days I was there, and after the show, we used to go out and have a drink, and I just looked at this guy and I said, I don't understand why that you hired someone else. I thought I was doing a decent job, and if you were a good director, you would have told me what you needed me to change, and I would have changed it. And he looked at me and he goes, I didn't know you had that kind of confidence in you. I wouldn't have hired someone else if I'd known that. And I was like, well, you're a loss. I was angry. And I said things, and he goes, wow, I didn't know you were like that, because he was that kind of person and he needed to hear what I was saying. And I should have said it sooner, but I didn't, because I didn't know he wasn't happy with me. But I was confident enough at that point to speak up, mostly because of the anger came through. But I didn't like beat him up over it. I just said, hey, what's your problem? And sometimes that's all you need to do. And sometimes you need to do it a different way, but just follow your intuition. Don't be afraid to speak up. And sometimes when you speak up and you never did before, you might get kind of go to 0 to 100 and speak up loudly and obnoxiously when you don't really mean to do it. So just allow that. If you do that, don't beat yourself up over it. Realize that, yeah, you're learning a new skill. So you'll come back somewhere into the middle once you realize that, yeah, I can speak up, but yeah, I don't have to be obnoxious about it. So you'll come back to the middle and you'll feel more comfortable, and it'll be more you once you realize that, yes, I can do this. I can speak up and say, I can share my thoughts. I can share my ideas. I can share my talent with people. And if they make fun of you, then you go, fine, these are people I don't need to be around. these are not my people because we need those people around us to be willing to be open. And sometimes you can tell they're not, so you don't say anything. But a lot of times it's easy to share, it's easy to step in once you get used to it because people are amazed because, wow, that was inside of you? I didn't know that. Like that former boss of the show, he says, I didn't know that's what you were like. If I'd known you weren't this quiet little mouse, I would have done more. I was like, well, stupid, you're a bad director because you aren't telling me what you need. If you needed more, you should have told me you needed more. I would have given you more. But you can't expect me to give more. If I think you want what I'm doing, why would I do more? Sometimes you need to speak up. Just know that you can, you're worthy of it, you are deserving of being able to be heard. And sometimes we don't know that about ourselves. We don't feel that about ourselves, but we can see it in other people. So you might want to help someone else as well with this one because confidence is something we have to have for ourselves, but other people can help us get from here to there when need be. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm Carol DeChaine. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell notification so you know the next time that a video is posted. And if you want to know more about me, you can check out my website at connecttojoy.com. Or if you like this and you want more and longer, I have a podcast called also Connect to Joy. Connect, the number 2, joy. And all of that is below this video. Until next week, please know that you are already enough to have that joyful, limitless life that you desire. Sometimes we just have to beat up our subconscious just a little bit to realize that, hey, come on, let's get rid of some of those things that aren't working for us because we are already enough. But we may not believe it quite yet.